you say we cut the chit-chat? A-hole!
This year we're going to grab the bull by the balls and kick those punks off campus.
Well, looks like the cows have come home to roost.
Hello and welcome to the entertainment.ie movie show, brought to you by our friends at Odeon Cinemas. This week we have a Star Wars Last Jedi goodie bag to give away. Brian's wearing the cap there. Look at his head. Look at Brian Lloyd's head. It's gorgeous. No beard this week.
No.
It involves, like, the goodie bag. You have a cap, you've got a t-shirt, you've got a Star Wars watch. You'll probably end up selling it on eBay or something like that for a fortune in 20 years' time, or whatever the version of eBay is in 20 years' time. I'm sure there'll be something.
I'm sure there'll be something.
To win, if you're watching on Facebook, if not, log on to our Facebook if you're listening to this and comment below and tell us who the Irish star of The Last Jedi was, and at least have a bash at spelling his name properly. Okay, guys, you've got 4 films to talk because we didn't have a show last week, and we'll get to the Golden Globes talk I think at the end because it's on Sunday night, Monday morning. First of all, you went to see this one over the holidays,
yes,
did you?
I went with my family.
You went with your family? Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
So it's The Greatest Showman, and I heard it's actually really sweet. It's doing quite well in America, and it's one of those that didn't open that well. But through word of mouth, people have started to go and see it, which is a good sign.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is just like cheesy, feel-good stuff. I mean, over the Christmas break, we kind of had 3 movies out between Pitch Perfect 3, Jumanji, and The Greatest Showman. And I think the idea of them is they're kind of suitable for all the family. And that's what's kind of nice over the holidays. You kind of go with your family. All the different age groups can enjoy it and everything. I mean, it is really, like, it's quite cheesy, but it's so feel-good. And I loved it because it was a full-on musical. Like, it was like La La Land on steroids. Like, it was so, so music-filled and everything. It felt like, they were just saying a few sentences and then broke out into song. But I absolutely love that kind of thing.
So you like musicals?
Yeah.
You're not a fan of musicals.
I'm not, but I do love the fact that Hugh Jackman, all he's ever wanted to do was put on a tuxedo and dance around the place and sing. And like, we all know...
Isn't Les Miserables?
Les Mis, yeah. And he did that show, what was it called? Smash, I think it was called.
Smash.
Did he do Smash?
Did he produce it? Did he?
He produced it or something.
Yeah.
He loves
Somebody
musicals.
fact check Brian. Can we get a thing?
Can we get a fact check?
Fact check Brian.
But he's mad for musicals. Yeah, we all know him from Logan and
He's
being...
in a bunch of Broadway shows.
And the fact that, like, Zac Efron is back singing and dancing again, like, he made his name in High School Musical and everything, so that was another element to really enjoy about it. So yeah, I really liked it.
Zac Efron not taking his top off in a film.
That was a bit upsetting, but like, he was singing and dancing, so
Jesus, D, get a drink.
How weird are people going to feel about Zac Efron when he plays Ted Bundy?
That's
going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah,
because that's going to be a tricky one, I think, to pull off for him, because Ted Bundy was known as being kind of like a good-looking guy, but like a serial killer.
Oh yeah, he was really charismatic. Like, if I ever read up on Ted Bundy, like, he was a really charismatic. Like, Zac Efron is the perfect choice. I can't think of anyone better to play him because he had that real all-American good looks.
Patrick Wilson. Anyway, let's move on.
I
want to talk Molly's Game, because this is one I saw over the holidays as well. It's out in Odeon Cinemas this week too, and cinemas all around the country. Brian, loved this. Really liked this. A little bit too long, based on the real story of Molly Bloom. He was played superbly by Jessica Chastain. Idris Elba plays her solicitor. It was just typical Sorkin's directorial debut, but that dialogue just zips.
It does, doesn't it? But I think, and we were talking about this off air, was the fact that, like, I think the thing that it was kind of the same problem in Wind River in certain regards.
Whoa. Wind River's five-star.
No problem.
No. This is what I mean. Like, it's the fact that, like, Aaron Sorkin is such a wordy director, right? Or a wordy writer. But a director would have the kind of presence to say, right, okay, you're losing the run of yourself here. We can hem this scene in a little bit. You can drop that line of dialogue. You can make it a bit more kind of economical, I guess. And it was the same with Taylor Sheridan as well in Wind River and Sicario, and the fact that, you could kind of hem it in and edit it a bit. A director would have the presence of mind to be like, okay, we don't need that scene. But in Molly's Game, I feel like there were a few scenes and a few kind of plot strands in it that they could have been cut out of it. It could have been a bit more judicious, I think. But the fact that Sorkin wrote and directed this means that he was looking at it saying, well, I wrote that scene and I really enjoyed it, so I'm going to leave it in. I don't think he was as judicious as he could have been.
Is that not any writer-director, though, do you hear that about writer-directors?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But
it's common complaint.
Exactly. But I mean, the fact that it's his directorial debut, I think especially he was like just feeling very protective over it or something. I really liked it as well. Yeah, I found it really exciting and exhilarating. I loved the poker scenes. I thought it had a really good balance of kind of like explaining poker at its basics, but also going into the more complicated stuff. But really, it's not so much about the game as about the people involved in it and everything, you know. And I thought Michael Cera was brilliant
I was just
as
going to say,
Player X.
Michael
He
Cera
was
great.
so
Yeah.
he was kind of like, he was so dark and
He was
sinister,
sinister,
but like
yeah.
kind of funny dark as well.
Yeah.
Like I thought he just pulled that off really, really well. For me, the main weakness of it was I didn't really like the whole storyline with Kevin Costner, her dad. For me, it felt a bit like arbitrary
See,
and
that's
like this is
interesting,
the reason why she is the way she is.
I'm always glad. I know you're a fan as well. I'm always glad to see Kevin Costner pop up in
Yeah.
films.
Yeah.
But hello. But you, Brian, you were saying that was a moment, that was a part of the film you actually quite enjoyed.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first part of it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The opening sequence with her and the dynamic and the relationship between them. I thought that was really, really interesting.
Yeah.
I felt the last 10 minutes of it when he turns up, and I don't want to spoil this, but he turns up in the last 10 minutes, and it felt what he does. Like, I mean,
I don't want to
Really
spoil
a
it.
spoiler.
It's not really a
It's
spoiler,
not.
but
No.
You could have just said he turns up.
he turns. Okay, fine. He's
Prepubescent Spielberg. Go on.
fine. He turns up in the third act of the film, and I felt that part of it was kind of like, it's
Yeah.
just a bit too
Yeah.
tight, or not even tight. It's a bit too
Neat.
But
tight.
no, but that's
Yeah.
but that was crucial to her character. And
Completely.
yeah, and that's more of a script writing thing that Sorkin,
Exactly.
you know, should have known before. Not shooting it. That's something that obviously needed to be, you know, addressed because it's based on Molly Bloom's book.
Exactly.
And Molly Bloom's book, and it's the Ringer did a brilliant piece on
saw
the real Molly Bloom
meant to
and
read
the
that,
real
actually.
people behind it. So 4 people you see in the movie that like 4 people basically were part of the 4 famous people that were part of poker games were named and something to do with court. So Molly Bloom can then name them in the book. So it's a bit of crack trying to figure out who's that supposed to be? Who's that? So like Ben Affleck, Leonardo DiCaprio, and Tobey Maguire are all people I think that were named or that Molly Bloom talks about in the book. And it's figuring out who's who.
Yeah.
And when you figure out who's who, there's one in particular that you're like,
That is really
he's a
shocking.
dick.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my god.
And it's funny because we were talking about this off air, but when you find out who that character is to their real person, you're like, wow, that really changes your perception on that person.
And how good Michael Cera plays him.
Oh, completely.
Michael Cera absolutely nails him as well. And it's weird because I thought when I saw Michael Cera kind of pop up and play
Yeah, it
poker,
was kinda weird.
I thought Topher Grace in the Ocean's movies. You know, when you see it's Topher Grace trying to be whatever, but it's a much more nuanced performance than that.
Definitely, yeah.
So we all like this one. Do we see this one picking up any awards? Maybe we're getting to talk towards the end.
Well, I mean, it's for the Golden Globes, it's been nominated for, you know, best actress, obviously, for Jessica Chastain. She's great in this.
Amazing.
I don't think he
She's got
got any
tough
nod for
competition.
director. Did
No.
Sorkin get any nod for screenplay? I'm trying to remember now.
He
Possibly he
did.
will, yeah.
He I think he got nominated for best screenplay, but to be honest, I think in best actress drama for the Golden Globes, Jessica Chastain is in a group of death situation,
Yeah.
so she would be hard pressed to win it.
Yeah.
But
But at that,
screenplay
she
as
is
well.
amazing in
But
it.
she is brilliant in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's not to take anything
She needs
away
to
from
win
her.
an Oscar at some point. She's that good.
Oh, yeah.
She's kind of that good now.
She'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
She'll definitely get it
She's got an
eventually.
X-Men movie coming out there next year as
I
well.
won't be for that though.
Yeah.
Come on.
Saying that for you, best Spielberg, calm down.
Grip.
The one I was excited about seeing when I saw the trailers, and it just seems like my vibe, is the latest Christian Bale one, Hostiles.
Yes, I love this movie.
Scott Cooper, who directed
Black Mass.
Black Mass, he directed Into the Furnace, and Jeff Bridges won an Oscar for
Crazy Heart.
Crazy Heart.
Yes.
Really underrated director. Black Mass, I think, was better than a lot of people give her credit for. Into the Furnace is worth seeking out. Leonardo DiCaprio produced it. Also starred Christian Bale. You really dug this one. You give her 4.5
Yeah, I
stars.
really, really enjoyed this. The only reason why I took away half a star was because it is kind of a slow burner, and I felt like it could have been a bit like tighter or something. But
Tighter.
tighter.
knocked
And
up
like it's
tighter.
not going to appeal to everyone on that basis because it is kind of a slow moving movie, and I know that some people like kind of action. But I just thought that this film was so brilliantly nuanced. The performances are great. It looks gorgeous. The dialogue, just every scene, every like confrontation, like because it's a brilliant cast and everyone in it is like kind of competing against each other, and there's some really interesting like subtle relationships being developed there. You're kind of hooked to the screen and what's going to happen to this group from start to finish. It's really good.
I wonder, because you said it's Christian, you think it's Christian Bale's, could be his best performance.
I think
But
so,
before
yeah.
we get to that, is it a Western? Because that's when it's
It
set.
is,
set
it
in,
is a Western.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is essentially a Western. It's set in 1892, and it's about this army captain who's given this assignment of bringing a Cheyenne chief and his family back to their home in Montana. So he gathers his group of soldiers together, and they're trekking across the west, and they face all these dangers along the way. And
the Cheyenne Chief is Wes Studi, who was in Heat and Last of the Mohicans.
Oh, Last of the
I
Mohicans,
love that
belter.
guy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Brilliant actor.
yeah, but there are great supports in there as well. You have Rosamund Pike,
Yeah.
and you have
Gone
Ben
Girl.
Foster. Yes, Ben Foster and Jesse Plemons, who I know you love, and Timothy Chalamet has a small role in
Yeah.
it. He's from Call Me by Your Name. So yeah, it's a great
He's
cast.
nominated for Golden Globe for Call You
Yeah.
by Your Name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jesse Plemons, in my opinion, best actor, one of the top 5 best actors.
Brilliant
Yes.
character
And you're
actor.
all working at the moment. He is incredible. And you look at his
Yeah.
range and the stuff that he's done. But before we move on, Christian Bale, is it his best? Because talking of best actors, he might
Yes.
be the best. It's hard to, it's a
Yeah.
difficult one to argue.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, because I haven't seen The Fighter, which I know is the one he won.
It's not like he's
the
great
Oscar
in it,
for,
but the
isn't
film's
it?
grand.
Yeah, fair enough. But I just thought he was amazing in this. Like, one of the things that struck out to me, I know this is a random one to pick out, but the fact that he has this ginormous and very impressive, might I add, mustache in
Listen,
this.
Brian,
And
that's
that's,
how you
like,
grow. That's how you grow.
Oh yeah,
mustache in the
I've
career.
always wanted it. Ever since I saw Dances with Wolves, I always wanted one of those big, huge mustaches. Yeah.
yeah, but the fact that that's like essentially covering part of his face, and he has to communicate so much, like just through his eyes, so much like regret and pain and sorrow and anger. Like, I just thought it was brilliant. Such an emotional
that's a really
performance.
interesting thing to pick up on. Do you think he
Yeah.
did that on purpose?
I think so, yeah. Or maybe it was something like him and Scott Cooper maybe
Yeah.
decided on between them. I'm not sure, but I thought it worked really, really well for the character.
So there's a lot of films out at the moment, and we're going to talk about another one that's out on Friday now. But you would highly recommend people see this one out, because I
Yes.
can't see it kind of doing huge numbers at the
wouldn't
box
think
office.
See,
so
it's like
either.
an independent like distributor and
Yeah.
everything, but I really hope that people do go out and seek it, because it's worth it.
Okay, Brian. I suppose it hasn't done particularly great in America, but there's been a huge amount of publicity for obvious reasons. Kevin Spacey was booted out of production. The scumbag was kicked out of production, and he was replaced by Christopher Plummer. All the Money in the World is Ridley Scott's latest film. Mark Wahlberg, Michelle Williams. Michelle Williams is always incredible. You came back from the screening of this, and I was like, and you were talking about, I was like, I want to go and see it.
Oh yeah, it's great crack.
Yeah.
It's such good fun. Like, I would like, and I said this, I described it as it's like an episode of Dynasty, but I mean that in the most complimentary way possible. And the fact that it's really played this like rip-roaring soap thriller thing, like the way that Michelle Williams plays every scene, and it's really kind of histrionic, and she's all like, I just want my child back, and it's really kind of like over the top. But the real reason why I watched this, and I think the real reason why a lot of people are going to go see this, is because they want to see, you know, is there any bit of Kevin Spacey in this? Like, can you see him in the
for a
background?
bit of context, Ridley Scott reshot these scenes in 11 days.
Yeah.
He replaced Kevin Spacey with Christopher Plummer, who was in contention for the Getty role, the Oil Tycoon role to begin with. He's 87 years old.
Yeah, 88.
88 years old. He's gone 88 since, and he just knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, in the space of 9 days, he put this entire thing together. And like, when you're watching it, like, you're looking at Christopher Plummer and you're thinking, my God, he must have spent, if you didn't know any better, you'd think, wow, he must have spent months researching this, and he really gets that miserly, mean, awful character together. And yeah, he did it in 9 days. Like, the amount of talent that takes to be able to click into a role that firmly and like have it that well placed just shows you what a talent he is. And not even that as well, but the fact that the experience of it, you know, that's right, the fact that he's got that experience and he's able to draw on his own talent and knowledge and all the films that he's done, and he's able to like just put that together in the space of 9 days.
Would that be an amazing bookend to his career if he gets the Oscar now for this? Like,
I hope
Mike Wallace in The Insider is a really underrated performance as well. He should have
incredible
best supporting
performance
actor for that.
Yeah, definitely. I would love it if he got an Oscar nomination. I don't.
Supporting actor is a funny one this year.
It is. It's always a funny one. Yeah, it's always a funny one. Like, he'll be up against Willem Dafoe for the Florida Project.
He's who my money would be
And
on.
he's the smart money's on Willem Dafoe for a Florida Project. But having said that, would love it if Christopher Plummer won Best Supporting Actor for it. But I don't think he will. He'll get nominated though.
Overall, it moves really quickly. Old school thriller.
Old school thriller in the classical sense of the word. Bit of fun, good crack. Mark Wahlberg is not terrible in it. Michelle Williams Hey, say hi to your mom for me. But Michelle Williams is grand in it. She's a little bit over the top, but Christopher Plummer is the reason you're watching it. And Ridley Scott as well. Like, the man can just direct the shit out of a film.
Michelle Williams, old friends with Dieter.
Yeah, she's my
your
bestie.
old pal, yeah.
She's so.
She was your first interview.
She was my very first interview when I was working here, and I was really nervous, and she was really, really nice to me. And after the interview, you said you did really great.
Isn't that very sweet?
I love you. It meant the world to me.
Yeah, because we know what it's like in the junket setup, when especially in London. My first was Adam
yourself.
Sandler here. You went to London for it, and London's carnage, you know, and the fact that she took the time. And it might sound like a small thing, it's like just be a decent person, but it's actually a very sweet thing that you did. Okay, let's talk Golden Globes.
Right.
they're always kind of a mess. Like nobody, like let's be honest, nobody really gives a shit about the Golden Globes.
No, it's all a bit of
I mean,
crack.
for the past few years, people have cared because you had Tina Fey and Amy Poehler presenting, and with Ricky Gervais. So I thought
Ricky
it was
Gervais is
hilarious doing it.
awesome, yeah.
I'm a huge Seth Meyers fan.
Be interested to see what he does.
I'm
with it.
interested to see what he does. So let's talk about the ceremony kind of first of all. What are we expecting? We expect him to rip the crowd a bit? Is it just going to be all Trump?
I think it'll be more about the Me Too and Harvey
Yeah.
Weinstein and sexual harassment. It's going to be more about
Yeah.
that than anything else. Because, like, I mean,
People
you
are wearing
can't-
black, aren't they? Both
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
men and the
men and the women are all wearing black. Yeah, you can't have a ceremony and not address the biggest story in the entertainment industry in the past 10, 20 years. Like this, like the Me Too, Harvey Weinstein, James Toback,
Systematic change and
just the complete sea change. It cannot not be addressed. And Seth Meyers is smart enough, I think, that he can come at it in a way that he will address it and acknowledge it, but also rip the piss out of it.
Yeah.
Which is what you need.
That's where
But
it gets
not in
tricky.
an insensitive
No, not
way.
in an
Yeah.
insensitive way.
That is where it
It
gets
is
tricky,
tricky,
Dee,
yeah.
because as soon as it's brought up now, it's just like by any celebrity, by anybody, and any promise there's kind of a zoning in on it. So
Yeah.
that's going to be a tricky one for him to pull off.
Oh, definitely. It's going to be hard, like I said, to get that balance between being sensitive, but also kind of being able to make the show fun, because that is what the Golden Globes is associated with. You know.
Okay, who are our favourites to win?
Okay, I'm
The
going to call
comedy musical thing is stupid.
Yeah, I
Just
know,
stop
yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
Dunkirk
Super
is going to
foreign press.
win. Dunkirk is going to win Best Picture for drama. We said this.
And we
You-
think Best Director as well.
You
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
saying "Call Me by Your Name" because it's Hollywood Foreign Press. It could be.
Yeah, but I think it has a better chance of winning.
That's the sleeper this year, isn't it? That's the
Yeah.
Moonlight this year.
It
"Call Me
is.
by Your Name."
But funny you should say that, because I was reading a thing in THR, or was it THR? It was somebody anyway was talking about they had already done their they'd been talking to Academy voters, and they were like, when they were asked about "Call Me by Your Name," everyone said, "Oh well, we kind of did that last year with Moonlight." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, which is ridiculous. But you were saying for the Best Comedy Musical,
Oh yeah, because this is one we actually disagree on. Because
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Get Out, and Brian
I think
thinks
it's going to be
Lady
Disaster.
Bird.
Yeah, or Lady Bird rather. Yeah.
Did you say Disaster?
No, I said Lady Bird. You're right.
You're
yeah,
right.
sorry.
There's
Lady
like
Bird.
5 nominations. You're really covering your bases there, lads. Well, Get Out's not. Get Out. There's been a bit of a strange one over this because Get Out isn't a musical or a comedy.
But The Martian wasn't a comedy or a musical.
But it was
either.
more like along the like the Get Out's like a social satire.
I thought Get Out was
horror.
more of a comedy than The Martian is.
Yeah.
There was only those moments when his friend was in it. No, when it was more of a
But even just the whole kind of over the topness
Yeah,
of it was funny. Like,
cracking film.
Oh,
I
geez,
absolutely
cracking
loved it.
film, yeah.
And the most profitable film of the year. Okay, we might try and do a little quick recap on Monday with Preepy Best and Spielberg and Dieter. Thanks so much for joining us. Don't forget, if you want to win The Last Jedi goodies, comment below with the Irish star of the most recent Star Wars franchise, and we will smell you next week.